Hello everybody and welcome to Tiger Tales, the place you'll find stories and fanfictions written and read to you by your host, me, Tai Tiger. Today we're diving back into the Power Rangers Universe 91, a mirror flip on Power Rangers Universe 19, a universe where stories of Power Rangers and Kamen Rider are written and read to you by your host, Cosplay637, on the Power Rangers Universe 19 podcast. So this is the flip side of that universe, a mirror image, if you will, where Power Rangers Cyberforce were built by different means, sadly died, but the second version of the team were built with a silver, orange, and white ranger. Now, we dive into a two-parter, and this is the second part. So if you haven't watched the first part yet, you might want to go listen to that first. Mikhail is still around and he's helping out with the Virus Rangers. With that being said, let's dive in. With Power Rangers Cyberforce V2, Chapter 13, Virus Rangers Recoded, Part 2. The team spent the day catching up with Rose, training her, morphed and unmorphed. Haley kept checking on her vital signs, and for sure, Rose was cured from Dr. H's virus. Rose was back to her lovely, gentle, bubbly self. Haley was talking with Haley from Universe 19 and was building the device to stabilize the cyber realms, stabilizing the portals, allowing both Haley's to access the portals, which would allow the Cyber Ranger teams to cross between both universes, also allowing Mikhail to head home. Mikhail and Ace were building a plan to revert both the other two Virus Rangers back to normal. I think it would work, Mikhail told Ace. Yeah, me too, Ace said with a deep sigh. I want to help, Rose said, walking up to them. Actually, I was going to use you as bait, Mikhail said with a slight chuckle. Okay, cool, Rose said, slightly concerned. I don't like it, but Mikhail said we should give you a shot, Ace sighed. I want to help, Rose said, this time more serious. Okay, Ace nodded. A few hours later, Rose was walking through the mall, which had been all closed for the night. Rose walked through, with her eyes filled with tears. Suddenly, Derek and Trixie teleported before her. Rose, where have you been? Trixie barked. Oh my god, guys, it's been so horrible, Rose cried out, running up to the two. Then Derek threw his foot out and kicked Rose in the stomach, knocking onto her back. As she landed, she grunted in pain as she sat up. But Derek, Rose grunted. And why did you trust the alternate universe screw-up wannabe? Derek snapped. Because I love him, Rose barked back. Oh please, you both know you love the orange twit, Trixie lashed out. This ain't got anything to do with Timothy, Rose muttered under her breath. Wait till the boss hears about this, Derek groaned. In the lair of Dr. H, Mikhail and Midori teleported in. So now what? Midori asked in a hushed voice. It's okay, Haley's scanner didn't pick up any life signs, and no Zord signatures, Mikhail told her. Okay, so now what do we do? Midori sighed. You plant these, I'll keep watch, Mikhail ordered, handing Midori several rectangular blocks. Ooh, explosives! Midori cheered. Then she started placing them around the lair. She placed one in the hangout area under a chair. Then she placed one in the fridge in the kitchen. She also walked into Rose's room and placed one under the bed. She also hid one in Dr. H's office. She walked out and found Mikhail stood there waiting. Are you done? Mikhail asked. Yep, Midori said with an evil grin. Let's get out of here. This place is creepy, Mikhail shivered. Definitely got a 1980s horror movie evil lair sort of vibe, doesn't it? Midori agreed. Then both of them teleported away. My name is Ace, and I use a device called the Color Matrix, which allows me to hijack alternative universe versions of myself. I have the multiverse at my disposal. From being a Power Ranger, to being a Spider-Man, to piloting the Orville, to being a Vampire Slayer. I can do it all. I can spend 8 hours of my time. Of course, time is different in each universe, but 8 hours of my time piloting a version of myself. So come, explore the multiverse with me. See what my world is like in different universes. Explore the multiverse. If you want to hear such stories, then come and listen to The Color Matrix on Tiger Tales, The Lost Stories, found on YouTube. Rose stood up slowly. You cannot disturb the boss, remember? Rose grunted. We are failing, falling apart. The stickers are losing constantly. We only have 2 monsters, and you two are no help. Derek barked. Hey, I came up with some ideas, Trixie moaned. See, he does not trust us, does he? How can we support him as a leader when he doesn't even listen to our ideas? Rose chirped. Don't be ridiculous, Derek snapped. No, he actually doesn't, does he? You've got a point. Actually, the Doc and you are forever making plans, and not including us too. You got the weapon first, the Zord first. What happened to Lady Power, huh? Where's our spot in the spotlight? Trixie snapped. Oh, shut it, Derek growled. Me and Rose should make a stand, Trixie sneered. I agree, Rose said cockily. Then Trixie walked over to Rose and stood next to her, both of them facing Derek. The Rangers are the evil ones. You should perish. We need to be a team, Derek barked at them. Now that bit, I could not agree with you more, Rose grinned. Then with a swift sidestep, she stood behind Trixie. She kicked the back of Trixie's legs and wrapped her arm around Trixie's neck. Holding her tight, she pulled out a needle rod and stabbed her in the neck and injected the antivirus serum into her. Trixie called out in pain as she dropped to the floor, and the coding ran all the way up through her body. The antivirus serum took effect as she coughed up sludgy black smoke which seeped out of her mouth and slowly evaporated into thin air. What did you do to her? Derek barked. I just cured her, Rose snapped at him. Suddenly the Cyberforce team teleported in, blocking Derek's line of vision to the 2 girls. It ends here, Ace snapped at him. You won't get me, Derek sneered. Then he hit his morpher, but nothing happened. Why can't I teleport? Derek barked in confusion. Oh, sorry, I accidentally left some explosives at your lair, and I might have just accidentally pressed the switch. Midori grinned, holding a remote detonator in her hand. What? Derek said in shock. Just give up, Timothy said. Never, Derek roared. Then he morphed into the Virus 1 Ranger. Rose, stay here with Trixie. We'll get Derek as soon as we can, Ace said over his shoulder. Yeah, Rose nodded. Then Ace stood forward. Ready, guys? Ace called out. Ready, babe? Daisy replied.
Scan DNA,
Ace called out as he waved his hand over his morpher. The morpher started glowing silver.
Cybercharge,
Ace called out as he slammed his hand down on his morpher, and in a flash of silver light, Ace was morphed into the silver Cyberforce Ranger.
Scan DNA,
Daisy called out as he waved her hand over her morpher. The morpher started glowing white.
Cybercharge,
Daisy called out as she slammed her hand down on her morpher, and in a flash of white light, Daisy was morphed into the white Cyberforce Ranger. Scan DNA, Timothy called out as he waved his hand over his morpher. The morpher started glowing orange. Cybercharge, Timothy called out as he slammed his hand down on his morpher, and in a flash of orange light, Timothy was morphed into the orange Cyberforce Ranger. Scan DNA, Midori called out as she waved her hand over her morpher. Her morpher started to glow sage green. Cybercharge, she called out as she slammed her hand on her morpher, and in a flash of sage green light, she morphed into the sage green Cyberforce Ranger.
Scan DNA.
Mikhail waves his hand over his morpher, and it begins to glow red.
Cybercharge.
Mikhail slams his hand onto his morpher, and he is transformed into the red Cyber Ranger.
The 5 Rangers charged at the last Virus Ranger. The Silver Ranger slashed the Ranger with his hatchets as the Orange Ranger threw a shield which hit the floor, bouncing back up, hitting the back of the Virus Ranger's legs, making him fall to one knee. Then the White Ranger kicked him in the chest, grabbing his wrist, pulling him back up to his feet. Then she kicked him in the stomach, then spun him around to face the Sage Green Ranger as she swung her cyber nunchucks in a quick flurry, striking the Virus Ranger several times. Then the Virus Ranger summoned his Virus Stinger and shot the 4 Rangers, sparks flying off of them. Then the Red Ranger came in and struck the Virus Ranger in the chest, then the stomach. Then he grabbed the Virus Ranger and flipped him over his shoulder. The Virus Ranger then climbed to his feet and aimed his blaster. He fired it, but he missed. He took another step forward and fired again. This time the Orange Ranger deflected it. The Virus Ranger dragged his feet beneath him, his suit now damaged and slightly smoking. He aimed his Virus Stinger with a shaky hand. He pulled the trigger, but his shaky hand sent his shot misfiring in a different direction. "Just give up," the White Ranger growled. "Never," the Virus One Ranger coughed weakly. "Do it," the Red Ranger ordered. Then the Silver Ranger rolled forward and swung his hatchet. The Virus Ranger tried to block the attack. As the Sage Green Ranger flipped over the Virus Ranger, landing behind him. She struck the Ranger with her nunchucks before grabbing the Ranger by the shoulders, spinning him around, punching him dead on the face, making him stumble back. The Silver Ranger caught the stumbling Virus Ranger, then injected him in the neck with a needle and injected the antivirus serum. The Ranger demorphed as he screamed in pain. Derek dropped to the floor as the coating ran through his body, and then he copped up the black sludgy smoke and it evaporated in the thin air. Derek dropped to the floor. "Wait, I thought you couldn't inject Ranger suits?" Rose asked as she ran up to the Rangers. "We lied, just in case it didn't work. If you told them, we would know that you wasn't cured. You didn't, so I guess it worked fine," the Red Ranger explained. Then they all demorphed. Ace and Mikhail picked up the unconscious Derek, Daisy and Rose helped Trixie to her feet, and they all teleported away. A few hours later, Derek walked into the room and everyone cheered. "Thank you, honestly. Means a lot," Derek sighed. "Anytime, bro," Ace nodded. "Okay, guys, so now that we're all here, time for the big moment," Haley said as she placed a strange-looking projector on the table. She turned one of the dials up to full, then she looked at the screen which displayed all the current portals flickering throughout Blessington. Then she flipped the switch. At first, the machine started making this deep humming sound, then it died down. Then the portals all started disappearing on the screen, and eventually all vanished. "Oh my god, it worked!" Haley cheered. Everyone started clapping and cheering as the machine worked with the machine in Universe 19 to stabilize the Cyber Realm. Now the Cyber Realm could heal by itself without causing dilemmas in Universe 19 and Universe 91. Then suddenly Haley's screen started chiming. Haley pressed a few keys on her keyboard and a video call link was created, and suddenly another Haley was on the screen. "Hey there," the Haley on the screen said. "Whoa! What the hell?" Ace gasped. "There's two of them," Timothy sighed, holding his head in confusion. "Guys, meet Haley from Universe 19, Haley told the room. "Hey there, Rangers." "Hey, Mikhail," Universe 19 Haley said. "Hey, boss, what's up?" Mikhail grinned. "Well, actually, this is kind of perfect timing. The team just left to go fight Cornucopia," Universe 19 Haley told him. "Damn, I better go help," Mikhail muttered. "Maybe you could bring your friends? We could use the backup," Universe 19 Haley smiled. "Actually, I'm afraid not. We just got a massive power signature. Dr. H must be back," Haley told them. "Just send me. I can help, right?" Midori stated, looking at Ace. "Sounds like a plan. Just bring it back in one piece," Ace told Mikhail. "Sounds good to me," Mikhail grinned. Then Haley walked over to her lab and picked up a white cylinder container and handed it to Mikhail. "You said he wasn't always like the way he is. It worked on these three. It might work on him." "I'll work on making more," Haley told him with a smile. "Thanks," Mikhail said, taking the cylinder container off of her. Midori stood next to Mikhail. "Ready when you are, dude," Midori said. "Best I get myself home," Mikhail grinned. Dr. H stood there, her eyes were pure white, the cyber text flowing from her mouth like it was a second language, as the portal blossomed into perfection. Then suddenly, a monster stepped out of it. It was the Lord of the Cyber Realm himself. Finally, in the human realm, there stood Stingnet, no longer bound by his chains. He stood almighty and powerful as he took a deep breath of fresh air and exhaled slowly. Dr. H dropped to her knees in pure exhaustion. The portal closed behind Stingnet. "It's okay, niece. You were successful. I have returned to the Earth realm." Stingnet grinned. "Thank you, Uncle," Dr. H said through her lack of breath. "Now, to destroy the second attempt of a Cyberforce Power Ranger team," Stingnet chuckled. And there you have it, guys. Another attempt at a Cyberforce V2 chapter. This was a very intense chapter to write, and now the Virus Rangers are good, and of course Mikhail will be heading home. But there is more to come. So be on the lookout. Of course, make sure you check out Cosmic Dude's 637's Power Rangers Universe 19 podcast, which you'll hear the original Cyberforce storyline. Of course, check out the third member, the Three Ranger Bros, the first two being myself and Cosplay Dude, with that being Mark the Red Chorus Ranger and his podcast, Nerds for Comics. You'll find a lot of our stories associated onto there with comic book adaptations into audio dramas. You don't have to read the comic books, and also Mark's original stories. Make sure you check out our association, Zero to Hero, a fun Power Ranger themed podcast with Billy and Jim, the Balkan Scholar Podcasting. You might want to check them out because they're a lot of fun. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and subscribe to our brother channel, Tiger Tales The Lost Stories, where I write more stories and fanfictions, all sorts of different fanfictions as well, but all the stories in the first person perspective. That being said, like I said, don't forget to subscribe to here, and I shall see you guys really soon.